Hi everyone, this is Kino here. This is another day living the yogi's life where I share with you the tools and tips about how I make yoga relevant to my everyday life, and I translate the lessons that I learn on my yoga mat into real life situations. When you practice yoga, what is perhaps most important to understand is that yoga is a listening practice. It's a place where you get the opportunity to be really present with yourself and develop a heightened state of inner awareness so that you can feel the subtle sensations throughout your whole body and become aware of the subtle sensations of your own emotions and your own thoughts. And ideally, if you can listen to that space, perhaps before tension or tightness or injury or pain comes, we can sort of prevent those things from happening and almost, work through our attachments to pleasure and our aversions for pain and work through the things that are our habit patterns so that we can become happier and more free with a little bit less struggle. So in this listening space, one of the things that I really believe in is that every situation in life can be a teacher. Every situation in life, if you run it through the rubric of the spiritual path, has the opportunity to show you something about yourself and show you something about how you react and what your habit patterns are. So today I'm going to talk with you about how to listen to the messages of the universe, just like you listen to the messages of your body when you practice yoga. So let's say you're going into an asana, a yoga posture, that is really difficult for you, and you feel like you want to push and you want to rush really hard and move yourself into the posture. Now, I had that when I was working with inversions. I remember when I tried a posture called Pincha Mayurasana, which is a forearm balance, and I tried that posture maybe 15 times every day, and honestly, it didn't make it any better. It actually probably made it worse that I was pushing so hard so quickly. Well, I've learned that now when there's an asana or posture that's difficult, all you can really do is relax and let it take the time it takes. Give yourself the opportunity to learn, grow, become stronger, become more flexible, but it's not up to you when the results really come. So how do you translate that listening space from the practice into your life? Well, I'm going to give you two pretty funny examples from my life. Last week, I was actually speeding. I was a bad little yogi, and I was going 44 miles per hour in a 30 mile per hour zone in my white little Prius. And I love the Prius. It's my favorite car that I've had because I love everything it stands for, and it runs really well, and it's just really efficient, has everything that I would ever want. So I was kind of pushing the limits there, and I actually got pulled over. And the police officer was really nice. He paused, he talked to me, and he could have written me a ticket, but he issued me a warning instead, which I'm really thankful for. I don't know how much good karma I cashed in on there, but I think it was worth it because I paused for a moment, I took a breath, and I said, hey, what's the message that the universe is sending me right now? This is a warning, and this is a warning that I was going too fast. It's a speeding ticket. I was just rushing, and I was trying to rush to get to a place really quickly. I had a class to teach, and I was rushing there, and as it turned out, even after being stopped, I just went calmly there, and I actually arrived 5 minutes early, so I don't really know what I was trying to rush towards the goal for anyway. So that was example number one. Now, how does that come from the practice? Well, if you rush and you push sometimes, like let's say if you're trying to open your hip joint, you rush, sometimes your knee will kind of give you a warning, and that warning can come in the sense of some kind of tweak or physical pain that's not necessarily an injury, it's like a warning, and it could just give you some little signals. And if you listen to that and you say, hey, my knee is telling me that I've kind of gotten a speeding ticket with how fast I'm trying to force my hip joint to open. Only thing you can do is slow down and obey the rules of the body, just like I have to slow down and obey the speeding rules of the city of Miami Beach, and then you can continue on your journey, and you'll still arrive at your destination. And if you're a little bit late, it doesn't matter. It's okay. It's better than blowing up your car or blowing up your knee along the journey. Example number two. I was teaching an intensive course here in Miami, and I was feeling really exhausted. And I was working from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. almost every single day, just going. And one day I woke up with the thought, maybe I should take it easy, and the time that I'd allocated for my personal practice, maybe I should go home and rest. And I sort of got that message from my body. But I was a bad little yogi and I did not listen. I thought, you know what, let me just go practice. I'll just push through it and I'll power through. So while I was teaching, a couple of things sort of came up. that morning on the way to teaching, there were a host of little annoying things. First of all, there was a giant cockroach in my bathroom. Oh my God. I don't like bugs. I can take pain. I can take things. I can surrender into them. I can breathe. But if you show me a cockroach, I will scream. And I really didn't know what to do. So there's no one here to take care of. It was just me in the morning. So I looked at it and I thought, okay, well, you can be there. But I had to sort of rally. And Luckily for me, the cockroach actually died on its own, so I did not need to kill it. I didn't need to do anything. I guess it was on its last leg, but it's still to see it kind of really threw me for a loop. Then there were 3 other things, which I can't remember right now, which happened, but sort of really, I don't know, it just sort of challenged my emotional space. I know that might sound lame that a cockroach kind of stressed me out, but it kind of did. Now, while I was teaching, I still had that idea in my mind, I should go home and I should rest, and the cockroach and a few other annoying things in the morning, and still I didn't really listen. Then, one of my favorite students, who was such a really good student, by accident, he kicked me in the face, and he kicked me so hard so my lip was bleeding and there were giant bruises. I'm so happy, at least I didn't lose a tooth, but I really got it then. I was like, wow, this is a message from the universe. I didn't get it in the gentle message of all these little annoying things. I should just take it easy, so I had to get punched in the face. And I kind of took it like, well, hey, I'm gonna go home now. So I went home and I rested, and I did another meditation practice instead of my physical asana practice. And I really calmed down, and I was able to breathe, and I felt like I entered this calm listening space where I dropped down a level, which was kind of hard for me when I was really busy. So the lesson of living the yogi's life is listen to the messages of the universe. Listen to the signs around you. Be very aware, be very alert. And in this way, you can avoid getting punched in the face when those messages come. And also in your practice, just as a practical thing, when those little tweaks come up in your body, you have to be very conscious. You don't want to be scared of your body, but when you push too hard too soon in an inappropriate manner, what can happen is those little tweaks come up and they're like warning symbols that can help you learn to listen to them and avoid unnecessary injury. Suffering is a fact of life. Cockroaches crawl around and then they invade your house, and sometimes you're in a rush and you speed. These things happen. How you respond to them and what you do with them, do you let it ruin your day, or do you use those as sort of teachable moments so that you can become a better person? That's really where the yoga actually starts. I like to think that, again, suffering is inevitable. It comes. We can't avoid it, but what you do in the moment that suffering actually happens, well, that's when the yoga begins. Listen to the signs all around you and let yoga turn your whole life into this open, healing space where you're calm and peaceful, you remain equanimous, you're fully present, and you use every situation that you come into contact with as steps to go deeper on the spiritual path. I hope you enjoy hearing these little tidbits from my life, and remember, please leave a comment if you find this sort of discussion interesting so I get the inspiration, I get the signal to keep doing them. And if you have any specific questions that you might have in relation to how yoga relates to, like real life situations, please leave a comment, or you can always shoot an email to me at info@kinoyoga.com, and I'll read through the questions and see which ones I can answer the most. So again, thank you so much for watching and sharing the journey with me. Namaste.